To the United Kingdom now, where Prime Minister Keir Starmer is tackling the biggest crisis of his new government. He's just wrapped up an emergency meeting of top ministers, police, and other officials that he called in response of several days of scenes like this. The government is promising swift justice will be handed out to dozens of far-right demonstrators arrested in clashes with police and counter-protesters. It's Britain's worst violence in more than a decade, and it was triggered by the shocking killing of 3 children at a party last week. Misinformation spread online suggesting that the suspect was an asylum seeker, even though police had already said that the suspect was in fact born in Britain. Keeping an eye on this story for us, the CBC's Anna Cunningham tracking the story, joining us now live from London. Anna, we heard about smashed windows, fires being started in buildings. Can you talk to us about what happened over the weekend exactly and where it happened?
Abby, this really was a weekend of violence, destruction and anger across Britain's streets. Just to talk you through one of the major flashpoints that took place yesterday, it was in the northern town of Rotherham, which is in the county of South Yorkshire. We saw a very large group gather, about 700 people, outside a hotel that we now know was housing 240 people, most of them asylum seekers. And at times we saw these running battles with the police, and quite frankly it did seem that the police were losing control of the situation. It went on for hours. As you say, those protesters, anti-immigration and far-right protesters is how they've been described. And they were grabbing anything that they could, bits of wood, smashing windows, even lighting fires in bins and pushing them towards entrances of that hotel. It got so serious at one point the fire service wanted to evacuate the hotel, but they simply couldn't because the police did not have control of the situation. We have seen these disturbances repeated up and down the country in towns in the north, also another hotel housing asylum seekers in Tamworth in central England was targeted last night, and further down south the same scenes of unrest and clashes with the police and between the anti-immigration far-right protesters as well as anti-fascist protesters. Abby.
Anna, there has been some criticism lobbed at the previous Tory government for their comments on migrants and immigration. But how has this new government, the Labour government, responded to all of this violence over the weekend?
Well, look, Abby, the newspaper headlines in the British press this morning saying things like under siege, day of shame. That is not what the new government wants to see. But the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, has come out talking hard this morning. Take a listen to what she said on LBC News.
There will be people who are thinking they're going on their summer holiday this week, and instead they're going to be facing a knock on the door and a police cell as a result of what they have done. The Director of Public Prosecutions has made additional prosecutors available, and there has been close working with the courts to make sure that they can move quickly and also to make sure that there are prison places available as well.
More arrests are being made today. We know over 200 people arrested over 2 days. And as you said, Abby, that meeting with government ministers and intelligence services and police has just ended at 10 Downing Street. We'll hear more details later.
And we'll check back in with you for that. The CBC's Anna Cunningham in London. Thank you, Anna.